Okay, what do we have here? Montana. Montana. Let's see. What do we have here? One second. Alright. Montana versus Montana, Groskorf, Yamato. Salem, Hinden, Venezia, Double Smolensk, Gearing, Kleber. Not too many DDs. This favors the Montana. No carrier. This is of course always good. No expert loader, will respec. Yeah, you should. Expert loader is insanely important on the Moskva. Like, because both the HE and AP are very strong, but the AP has. I need to show you the penetration capacity of the Moskva, yes, to make you understand. Just you're missing out on a whole lot if you're not using AP at the right times. Montana. Montana's downsides: it lacks overmatch, which means you can only really overmatch 27mm. Anything more 30mm armor will bounce, which means Hindenburg, Venezia, Salem all have the capacity to bounce your shells, which is of course unfortunate. On the other hand, it does have 12 guns. You're able to run the US improved dispersion mod at the cost of reload, but means your gun power is quite significant if you can catch broadside volleys. Also, something people don't often mention is you can run Halsey or John Doe on the Montana, which means you can expert loader ammo types in 6 seconds, which is basically the fastest any BB can do it. Especially if you take some damage and got AR kicking in, your ammo switching speed is immense. Your 15.6 concealment implies legendary module, because you're not running concealment in that case, which of course means that you're also extremely resilient to fires. And the firing angles are very good. Especially compared to something like a Grosse Kurfürst, which you're facing quite a lot. Montana, in fact, tends to out-brawl the Grosse Kurfürst, as long as you don't get caught in a full broadside brawl. Montana can use all his guns and not eat too much damage, whereas if a Kurfürst tries to use his back turrets, the Kurfürst gets absolutely fucking annihilated. I would pop spotter plane. Why would I pop spotter plane? Because you can see over the island and get a better idea of the ship, which means you don't need to lead quite as much when you're shooting. You can shoot closer to the island, which means you might catch him before he makes the turn. So spotter plane, when you see someone about to peek out and you got vision from another source, it helps you lock in those volleys. Another good example, I'd like to see you pop your spotter plane here. Pop spotter plane. So you can see you get vision over the island. In fact, your spotter plane might even see him better. So spotter plane, spotter plane, spotter plane. I'd like to see a lot more spotter plane use. In this case, of course, the gearing is here, so you should be expecting torpedoes from this angle. You're playing quite aggressive. Smolensk is pushing up. This guy's stopped, so you need to focus your guns on the Smolensk. He's being an idiot.
All stations, reporting
the Venezia might blap him if he is good enough to use AP. No, he uses HE, SAP. That's unfortunate. He's turning away. I actually like that you're not turning full broadside to shoot him, respecting the potential gearing AP, or the gearing torpedoes. Oh, but this I don't like. Okay. You're about to turn full broadside. You're about to turn full broadside, even though you know Yamato, Montana are here. And, in fact, there might even be a third battleship. We've only seen Kurfürst Montana. There's a third BB potentially, so there might be another Kurfürst sitting here. You're about to turn full broadside in front of 3 tier 10 BBs. And if the gearing has launched torpedoes, and you haven't seen them yet, they might be showing up at any moment. So this move here, fucking suicide. This right here, I hate every aspect of this move. This is suicide. This is absolutely being annihilated suicide. This is a terrible idea. This is tunnel vision on the Smolensk and not respecting all the incoming fire. Here it is. Somehow you don't get citadeled. And the Montana doesn't even shoot you. Wow. And no gearing torps either. I don't know what he torpedoed, but apparently not you. That is nothing but pure luck. Nothing but fucking pure luck. That was straight up suicide. That was straight up fucking suicide. Spotter plane. Note that in this case, note that if you want to shoot this guy with spotter plane, you can zoom out and lock onto this Yamato. That way you get improved dispersion shooting into the smoke. As long as you're locked onto a target, you get 50% better dispersion. It doesn't matter if it's the target you're actually trying to kill, as long as you have lock onto someone on your screen. So if you're gonna blind fire this guy, zoom out enough that you get use the Yamato's lock on advantage.
You're not known to be a humble man, but I wonder.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
What do you think is the best ship in this game? My Screets.
My Screets. What do you think is best ship? Depends on entirely on the situation and the tier. Too low. Torps coming in. Note that the fact that the Montana is keeping you vision. At this point, what I would like to see, I want to highlight the fact your Venezia is disengaging. Well, we can't really, it's kind of fucked, buggy on the replay. Your Venezia is disengaging. Your Thunder is disengaging. I would like to see you turn this way and point your guns. The reason for this is you're disengaging from the Smolensk HE spam that way, you're better angled against incoming torpedoes, and you're rejoining your team, and also you're getting the crossfire angle over the island on the Montana and the Yamato. So, keeping the way you're doing right now, keeping this flank means you're giving broadside to the Yamato, you're staying in the HE spam, you're potentially exposing yourself to the gearing who might have pushed over here to torpedo, and you're getting yourself more and more away from combat. I always say that I love central positions in my BB. The way you're moving away from the center. You're moving towards the corner. And the further this way you move, the less relevant you become for the outcome of this game. Gearing is spotted, you should be switching, aim gearing, aim gearing, aim gearing, aim gearing, aim gearing. Giving full broadside again, and somehow you don't get a citadel. You really need to respect giving these broadsides while spotted. Aim at gearing, 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 aim at gearing. Shoot the gearing, shoot the gearing. Always shoot the DD. What the hell is this? Too high to begin with? Okay. Look, you see, I said too high, but more importantly, if we look at this, do you see where that circle is? Do you see that? Can we zoom in a bit? Oh shit, that fucks with the circle. You see how the circle is almost behind the ship? You're aiming too high. You're aiming too high. When you use the spotter plane, you generally want to aim below where you would normally aim, because the difference in perspective means that the same point is actually lower on the map. So right now, you're aiming far too high. And especially if he turns in, as any sane player would do, it means that you're unlikely to really land any damage at all, which is exactly what happens. Now you're pushing in. Questionable. I don't like this push. This guy's giving you full broadside, that's nice. Wait for it, wait for it. You only get one shot, so wait for it. Aim lower, aim lower, aim lower, 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 lower. Again, a bit too high. And it looks like he was slowing down as well, but it might be okay. No citadels because too high, but hey, pen damage is always pen damage. I'd like to see you focus the Salem now though, instead of the Montana. If you kill the Salem, you get the Hindenburg to help you with the Montana, which means you are 3 versus 1ing this guy and you got a huge firepower advantage instead of focusing him. You're also giving far too much. Okay. We just spoke about how great the firing angles on the Montana are. Why are you giving this much broadside to him? You can turn significantly more nose in. And by turning more nose in, you also get better firing angles on the Salem. And you're putting the island between the Yamato and the Smolensk. So going this way has 3 different purposes that makes it more valuable. So there's no point giving this much broadside. You can shoot. Note that Montana has a weakness underneath the turrets, so you can actually aim under the turrets at this angle and get a higher chance of getting more pens. Turn in, turn in, turn in, turn in. There we go. Easy trick to keep track of how much you can turn in is basically you turn in until your back turret, like reticle, starts moving this way. That means you've turned in too much. And then you can turn out a bit, just to get that perfect angling. So, you want to keep track of what the reticle shows. Now you should want to be aiming underneath the turrets. Underneath the front turret. He's almost full broadside. Aim underneath the... Right where he aimed. Did you see where he aimed? You want to aim there. Oh shit, we weren't zoomed in to see. He's giving you flat broadside there. Ah shit, I wonder where you aimed, but it looked like it was too high again. Smolensk has repositioned here. That's not relevant though. The Montana is the major threat. You can't wait until he's shot before you turn out.
The ship is on fire.
There you go. I actually like that. Now that he's shot, now you can turn and use all your guns. Whoa, you're aiming so... Why are you aiming so high? Holy shit. A bit of panic maybe? There's no need for that. Okay. You have a disengage opportunity right now. You can turn full right and get into cover. The Große Kurfürst is occupied with this flank. It's unlikely his guns are pointed at you. Smolensk doesn't have the blapping power to blap you, and Venezia doesn't either. The only thing that has is the Yamato, and he's still pushing around the island, and he hasn't been spotted. So you could turn right and keep the island between you and the Yamato to make the fight more even. But by pushing straight in, the Yamato is going to pop up scenes here soon, and he's going to get shots at you as well. Three, two, one.
The ship is on fire.
He should be popping up soon. He's been sailing slowly. Yamato is not a fast ship, but he is moving all the way around here. And he's gonna start taking those port shots soon. You could still be disengaging. Even now it would be a good chance to disengage. Look how far the Venezia is. Venezia is moving the wrong way. He's moving into cover. So you could still disengage behind this island. And the Yamato has finally showed up. He's finally gotten the firing angle, and he's taking shots at you. But now it's too late, and you get farmed to death. 1 overpen, of course, classic Smolensk. But yeah, more map awareness, more focus on your own positioning, more focus on your angling. And I did mention I didn't like this push, because you're pushing alone into an enemy advantage. There was no need for this push. There was no need whatsoever. I mean, you killed the Montana, sure, but after that, instant disengage. No need. This was like a completely unnecessary push. Let's see. What else do we have? What captain build would you recommend on Montana? Classic tank build. What's your damage in that Thunder game, Timmy? Full tank build on basically same battleship build I use on almost every battleship. Donskoi, fine. 20k, wow, 20k damage Donskoi game. Sure, that's a bad enough game that I'm more than happy to feature it. If someone is willing to send in a game that bad, I don't mind featuring it at all. But I go for full tank. You didn't have concealment expert. Or were you running legendary build? I actually don't like the legendary build too much on the Montana in randoms, because concealment is so powerful. I did have concealment, but I was running legendary. Ah, yeah, that explains it. Legendary is not that good. I mean, if you're under a lot of HE spam, it's fine. But I'm not the biggest fan of that. Ultimately though, what got you killed there wasn't so much your build, but the overextension and not even trying to disengage, but kind of going, whatever, I guess I'll die, and just committing to the push, even though there was no need to commit to the push. Right, what do we have here? Tier 10 game, Donskoi? What makes the Donskoi good? Great firing angles, great speed, long-range radar, good DPM, and torpedoes. What makes it poor? It's a big ship, thin plating, huge citadel. If you get broadside, you get blapped. Those are the downsides. Running expert consumables, I like that. Stealth is 12.6, that's concealment expert build, I like that. Might be IFHE build, I'm not sure. Oh, and it turns sluggishly. It's fast, but it turns very sluggishly. That's true. Nico Agricola, thank you for the 18 months. So what do we have here? Planes are coming into spot. Obviously, going behind the island as the planes come in is a good idea. Reinforced sector. That was good. Good timing on that. Zeppelin throwing away a squadron is always useful. Oh, you're using a mod? Yeah, this looks like a zoom out mod he's using. Because the game looks so very zoomed out. Right. So he's pushing... I would show a bit patience here. You don't need to charge past this island yet. You could have waited a bit and seen in case this cap gets contested. Keep in mind that you can sit here and wait. Cap gets contested, you pop out your radar. You don't want to go nose in here. Absolutely not. You want to turn away. No, going nose in a Donskoi is a terrible idea. Your advantages are speed and great firing angles. Your disadvantage is squishiness. Going into this kind of position, when you do this, you slow down. That means speed is no longer an advantage. You can't use all your guns. That means firing angles are no longer an advantage. The only thing that you're right now presenting is the weakness of having a fairly even like turret split and your squishiness. You should be loading AP, and I really don't like this. I don't even want you to shoot this full broadside Neptune because your positioning is so shit. I don't know what you were thinking here, but you need to get the hell out. This was terrible. This is... okay, doing this in a Moskva. Okay, that's fine. Moskva has heavy cruiser plating. Doing this in a Donskoi with like 20k less health and none of that amazing plating is suicide. There's a reason why I actually support the idea of reworking the Russian cruiser line, even if I think Petropavlovsk and Nevsky are both broken. The reason why I think it's a good idea that they're reworking it is because everything until the Moskva plays differently than the Moskva. No other cruiser plays like the Moskva in that entire line. Moskva is completely set apart.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Note that you can turn your guns fully around backwards and focus the Smolensk. That is an opportunity. The Smolensk is pushing. If you kept reversing, turn your guns. This Smolensk is about to pop out full broadside and you could be blapping him with your AP. Oh, you noticed it now? No, you're focusing the wrong target. Okay, this is a good time. This would be a good time to radar A to support your team. Actually, your team has backed off, never mind. You might as well go and radar the Smolensk. Okay, I don't like that shot. Because there's a risk of being spotted. You want to ambush this Smolensk. This Smolensk is not aware you're here. I'm not sure why... Again, you're playing the ship far too stationary. This is an agile, nimble, not an agile, but fast cruiser. And a light cruiser. You want to be on the move. You don't want to do this stationary nosing shit. This is fundamental misunderstanding of how the ship plays. Also, you need to get the hell out of this position. It's getting more vulnerable by the minute. That Tirpitz can be pushing in through this gap anytime. The Massachusetts is pushing. The Neptune is getting flank control. There's Mogador somewhere. You don't even know where. Your team is bailing. You need to get the hell out of this position. You're not paying attention to the minimap. And now you got yourself spotted. No torpedo. No, what are you doing? Stop shooting, get out. Stop shooting, get out. Stop shooting, get out. I really would like to see you accelerate and disengage from this position. AP, if you're gonna shoot, use AP on the full broadside Shanbard. He's turning in for this cap. You absolutely want to be shooting AP. AP, 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 AP.
Торпеды прямо по курсу.
We found the Mogador.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
This position is getting worse by the minute. Accelerate and disengage. Accelerate and disengage. You can turn this way and get the hell out. Mogador goes behind island. You should be dark. This is a good time to get the hell out. I'm also very surprised that you saw him drop torps and you didn't follow it up by popping Hydra. Let's hope those were the only torps coming your way. You need to disengage. Look at your buffalo. He's running for spawn. The Jutland, he's running away. Look at the rest of your team. More minimap awareness. More minimap awareness. You're about to be overwhelmed. You got an NC who's about to start taking spotter plane potshots over the island and devastate you.
All stations.
I need you
Reporting the
to
position of a
disengage from this
strategic
position.
target.
No, no, no. The turp, it's turp. Get out. Just get out. Get out, get out. You're giving more and more broadside to the Shambart as well.
Пожарная тревога.
Torp? What do you think you are, a Minotaur? Dude, get the hell out of here. Oh, the Massachusetts already pushed up to your broadside. This is about to get real filthy.
Requesting support.
Oh god, this is about to get filthy. Reinforced sector on your right so the carrier planes don't get through. Good. But you're about to fucking melt. This thing doesn't have the armor. This thing doesn't... I don't think you even noticed that. Oh, now you did.
All stations. Reporting the position of a strategic target.
Yeah. Minimap awareness and just fundamental gameplay on how to play this thing. Like, I would start by... I'm pretty sure I might have a commentary. Do I have a commentary on my YouTube of the Donskoi? Let me double check. Do we have a Donskoi commentary on YouTube? Let's see. What do we have about the Donskoi? Okay, here we go. What do we have on YouTube? We have Dmitry Donskoi, mid to long range specialist. That's the latest one. Mid to long range specialist. That's the one we have. Mid to long range specialist. I think I got reported. And what is the thumbnail? Me sitting at 16 kilometers farming a witherer. That's how you play this shit. You don't go into those nose-in. You don't go into that YOLO crap. You play mid, you play long range, you farm, you farm. You use those fantastic firing angles to spam. You never ever, like, look how far away I'm farming these ships from. That's what this thing does well, because it's got amazing firing angles and it's got amazing shell velocity. The ballistics are 10 out of 10. You don't push into situations like that. That's Moskva. That plays differently.